Hi, I'm Tay. Welcome back to my channel, WHENTAYTALK. Again, I am Tay, and I am here for a quick little episode of Here We Go with the Bullshit. Here we go with the bullshit. Okay? First things first, everything on the channel is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Okay? Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel and also click the bell notification so that you know each and every time your girl upload a new video. Okay? Also share the video with family, friends, enemies, frenemies, whomever you would like. Okay? So let's get into this. We're doing this a little different. So I'm doing it in StreamYard today because I want to show these comment section. Okay. That's what I got to do. I got to do it. Okay. So let's get to what we're going to talk about today. So Carlos is back at his gaslighting shit again. And it's quite pathetic. Here he is using another woman to promote his bullshit. Okay. And I don't know if these women don't see it or they just with the shits. Okay, because I don't know in no way, shape, or form can a reasonable woman watch any of Carlos's shows and thinks, hey, this guy have these women's best interests in mind. He makes sure he look out for the men. But then women get treated like dog shit. That's just my own opinion, okay? That's just my opinion. And I seriously be wanting to know, like, would y'all be okay if that stuff was happening to y'all? Like, would you be okay with it? Would you recommend that for your niece, your auntie, your daughter? And if the answer is no, then you full of shit if you condone anything that Carlos King got going on. Like, seriously. Okay? Unlike Dr. Heavenly and these women that praise him, I don't think that Carlos is a genius. Every fucking idea he has, he got it from one of you guys. So it's not original. And not all things have to be original because people do stuff. I mean, I'm not the first person to do content, creating, but I think my style is original to me. But of course, you have things that you pick up from other people. But it's totally different than when you like completely take people's ideas and try to claim them as your own. If it wasn't your idea, then just say that. Like sometimes I fuck with Queen Sheba and be like 2 pieces and a pepper. And I got that from her. Like I'm not trying to steal her thing because that is her thing. When she reading her super chats, that's her mantra. That's her thing. When she read, it's funny to hear it because she says so proper. It's so funny. But like I'm not gonna like act like I made up 2 pieces and a pepper when I'm reading my super chats. You know what I'm saying? Because that wouldn't be me. That's not my thing. That wasn't my thing. That's Queen Sheba shit. Okay? So I think people need to realize and really look at him. Every fucking idea or thing that he's had, somebody has came out and said he took it from them. Just like he keep claiming about this show and this was all him and this and that. But when you in Melody's face, you giving her credit for it. You switched up her idea, but it was her idea all the better. So that means that if you take something from somebody, give them their fucking credit. Give them their flowers. Because you don't have no problem with taking flowers that you don't fucking deserve, Carlos. I just wanted to go on that tangent. But anyway, by the way, so Carlos did an interview with I think her name is Sheridan Davis, and I think this is the same Sheridan that's Color Me Pink's friend. I think she used to do a couple segments with or collabs with Color Me Pink. So yeah, check out our page or whatever. But he did an interview with her, and the interview was good. Like, she has some very good questions. But we about to dig off into Carlos's ass, and then I want to dig into the comment section, okay? Because there was some very insightful shit in this comment section, okay, that y'all not gonna want to miss. So let me get into it real quick or whatnot. No, maybe I'm gonna do my notes first. So let me pull up my little notes or whatnot. Okay, so they was talking about like the fans and stuff like that. So Carlos brings up the fans bullying the cast. They was talking about the dynamic of reality TV in the state that it's in now, as opposed to where it was before. And she felt like she was asking Carlos, like, do you feel like with the fourth wall being broken constantly and stuff like that, do you think that changed the dynamic of reality TV? So he was like, yes, he do. And he kept making mention that, like, now people know that the production pays for the trips and not the cast members. Do the cast members help pay for them bitches? Because we've seen what production pays for. And I'm going to say that. Because most of the time production pays for events too. Mimosas with Melody that they filmed, she paid for that. $30K out of pocket. And she also, Mel, this, and when I say she, I mean Mel. Mel also mentioned that when they give them the budget for whatever their trip or whatever is, she don't complain about how small it is. Basically, she just add whatever she got to add to it to make the trip or whatever the event, whatever she wanted to be. How her experience, the Melody Cherie experience, as she calls it. Okay, so I felt like that was a jab at at Melody or whatever. And people too, again, they always say that millimeters think that everything is about Melody. No, the motherfuckers that's talking and talking that shit think everything is about Melody. And saying that they're not thinking about her, yet you're texting somebody's phone thinking it's coleslaw, talking shit about who? Melody. When Melody ain't thinking about you. So show texts and stuff where she didn't call, or talk or text people talking cash shit about one of y'all. Y'all got any of them texts? And like I said in one of my other videos, they also prove that Melody don't really do that type of shit. And if she do it with somebody that is real sacred with, because they never bust out like none of the females. Martell has said it, but of course, that'd be either here or there because he never back it up with anything. But the cast, like especially the women, never say like Melody said this about you. Like Tisha never tells Stormy or Destiny that Melody said this about them. Destiny ain't never said to Stormy or, like this all on camera. I'm just assuming like on camera or publicly or whatever, or in one of the interviews that Melody said this about you or Melody said this about you. Whatever she got to say about them, she said on camera and in front of them so they know. Like how Tisha do. She do the passive aggressive shit in your face, but then she get in the confessionals and then at the reunion when she got Marceau there and she talking cash shit that she wasn't talking when she was in your face. And again, that's one of the problems that I got with the Stormy situation and the phone shit, the texts and shit. Like, Stormy, if it was you, that's how you feel, then talk that shit to Melody. Why you be in her face skinning and grinning? Even with the girl, if it was the girl Jerry, which I don't think that's not that girl's name, but even if it was her, why you just didn't say, bitch, it was me? Why you didn't text the phone back and say, bitch, this is whoever, whatever, it's me, whatever, whatever. Like, that's how I feel about you. Sorry, I texted shit to your son phone. End of discussion. You could have did that the day she went out and exposed your ass. Or you could have did the shit when she was texting you and calling the phone. You could have said it then, or you could have texted then like, look, my bad. I was talking shit about you and I understand how you feel, but I made a mistake and sent it to the wrong number. Please excuse me. We are whatever. Like, I feel how I feel. Like, and you can feel how you feel. Just make sure you on the right shit. You can't be talking no shit about your boss and sending shit to your boss and think everything gonna be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gonna be like, what the fuck? You can't be talking shit about the pastor and then texting to somebody talking shit about the pastor and sending shit to the pastor and think they ain't gonna feel away. After that, all bets off. You fucked up, not her. She ain't fucked up for receiving it and exposing it. You fucked up when you sent the shit to the wrong fucking number. Period, point blank, the end. So he talked about that, about the fans bullying the cast. That fans shouldn't be bullying cast, and some cast is putting on for their fans and stuff like that. So who will he be talking about? Because for one night, nobody really else on the show got no damn fans. Let's put that out there. And I'll just say that nobody else on the show got fans. So of course that is to Melody, because she's the only one on the show that got fans. And again, I say, it's funny how Carlos can see who is being bullied and identify bullying, but he don't identify when it's right there on his cast, on his production. He don't see that at all. That's strange to me. It's very strange to me. And what did he say? That the cast is getting bullied. And a lot of people also say stuff about well, since everybody on the cast have a problem with Melody, then she's the problem. Like, you know, and typically usually the common denominator that scenario is true. So if they want to go with that and Mel is the problem, and just because they got a problem with her don't mean that it's actually a problem. Is, you know, people can have problems with people for their own personal reasons. That is a problem within themselves that has nothing to do with that person. That person can't change any of that but be themselves, and the only way they can stop that person having a problem with them is to be somebody else, and that's typically not going to happen, right? So if we're going to go with the common denominator, so most of the fans, the audience, think that the cast is the problem. The majority of the cast is the problem. So should that ring true as well? Because from what the majority of the masses see is that one person is being bullied on your show. You feel like the people on the show is getting bullied by the audience. You'll never think why. Why would they be doing that? What's the issue? Why would they be doing that? What's the problem? Just like she was saying that the show was on break or whatever. The Love and Marriage Huntsville was on break. And she was like, and thank God, because I needed it. And this is an ad. And Carlos is sitting there like, yeah, it's like YouTube. No, bitch, it's not YouTube. It's YouTube. You motherfucking tube, okay? I find it strange that Carlos thought that was cute. I would, if this my show, I wouldn't want to hear a person that's interviewing me saying that they needed a break from it. That means it's something not enjoyable on your show. No matter, and if all of this stuff is going on YouTube and all of this stuff and social media surrounding your show, you never think like, why is people so invested in this? Why is people so triggered by this stuff? What is going on? Let me take a step back and do some self-reflection on what the fuck I'm doing up in here. Okay, because I know you said your editing is y'all, people try to, pick and choose when they want to blame editing and shit like that. But Carlos, they can pick and choose when they want to blame editing, because once they record the shit, it's out of their hands. It's in you and your production team's hand to handle the edits. So if everything was just going to be authentically how it played out, then it wouldn't be a need for fucking editing, correct? Because we have heard from several people that you take certain parts of their footage and place it. You might play one part of the footage. So yes, it was actually said, but it was said before this or before that, and you playing it in reverse. Like, that's editing at its best, and that is puppeteering. That's what you're doing. You're producing this show. You are producing a narrative that you want to display out to the world, not necessarily how it exactly played out. Because if you wanted to do it how it exactly played out, you wouldn't do that many edits. You would play stuff in the order in which it was recorded, and not in the order in which you want your narrative to fit, correct? Yes or no? I'm just curious, okay? And then they brought up him being messy, and he said that, that's really what people say about black people in general, that, when they do stuff it's messy, or black gay men that it's messy. No, motherfucker, you are messy as fuck, and you're evil as fuck. Like, it's not even messy, it's miserable, it's misery. That's what it is. You're beyond messy. So you're right. They're not talking about you. I'm going to have to give you that one. They're not talking about you. You are not messy. You're miserable as fuck, and you're evil as fuck, because you do this stuff with a conscience, and then you bring God into it. And I wish some of these people with these hateful speeches and stuff toward people would stop putting God and stuff that you know good and damn well he ain't got nothing to do with. What you saying is not godly. And you should be ashamed. You should be ashamed. But also too, like, that is kind of like, and I don't like that he try to play on that, because he is miserable. In my opinion, I don't like how he try to play on the gay black stuff, okay? Because that's a real thing in the world. That's a real thing. Like, even you in corporate America, if a black person sometimes, most of the time, have an issue or something like that, it's called being dramatic. They say you being dramatic or whatever, what's the drama or whatever. But if someone of another hue has an issue or whatever, it's an HR concern and this and that. But when and this is just from my personal experience, when African American people say it, then it's like it's you're being dramatic, or you're bringing drama, or whatever the case may be. So that part, that stuff happens. It happens. Like I said, I know this from personal experience. That stuff happens. So for him to try to keep on putting this stigma on because he's gay and black, stop it. It's not that. It's because you messy as fuck, and you miserable as fuck, and you evil as fuck. People call Andy Cohen messy. We don't see him that invested into his people like you are in yours, and then taking stuff personal. Because you keep saying you don't care about what people are saying about you and this and that, yet you repeat what people say about you verbatim. It's giving you care. You care what they saying. You don't care to fucking change what your actions are doing, because you giving off narc vibes too. You giving off you done had a narc injury when Melody confronted you at that podcast. That's what it's definitely given. You didn't even mention that the Millimeter sold out your first live podcast show tour. You didn't give no credit to none of that. But you constantly want people to give you your flowers. I think you mad because, for one, I think you think you're above reproach. I think that you want the people on your shows to bow to you and kiss your ass, because the ones that do, you treat them good. I ain't saying monetarily, because from what Winter was saying, the cash ain't cashing, but I digress. And still with that, like, the people on the show, like, most of them are in a lose-lose situation because they stupid as fuck, because people cannot stand y'all for this bullying that y'all might be encouraged to do. So he not paying y'all shit that can sustain this millionaire lifestyle of y'all's. Yet nobody is supporting your businesses either, because they can't stand you. And this also, again, is for the people that say Melody should get off the show. Why the fuck would she get off the show when she's basically the only one on the show that's benefiting from being on the platform? Which is what the reality TV shows are supposed to do. You're supposed to feature your products and feature your businesses and things like that. None of them is doing that, but Melody and the Fletchers. Well, not Ms. Neal in that daycare, because with her condoning the actions of a child abuser, I don't know how well that's going to fit with the daycare clients. I don't know. But Chris Fletcher does very well too. But I think that Ms. Neal clients, as far as her daycare, is like a staple in the community. So they may not look at this like that. Whatever. But yeah. But I think that he feels he's above reproach because he's fine when people are praising him. But when Melody called him out on a foul she felt was done to her, he took it personally and took offense to it. Instead of apologizing like he was saying on that podcast, like he's apologized to what's her name? The one what is her name? The one from Coming to America that's on Beverly Hills Housewives. I cannot think of her name right now. But her Fancy from the Jamie Foxx show. But he was saying he apologized to her and a couple other housewives. But you never apologized to Melody. She cried in front of you and told you that she didn't feel protected or seen when she was going through all of this shit and all of these fucking attacks on her, mainly by Martell and then some through his flying monkeys. And you didn't do shit about it. You still haven't done shit about it. But think like, oh, you thought that was something? Wait until this next season. That's the stance I felt like you took. So again, you need to start listening to some of these damn people instead of acting like you don't, and start implementing some of the things so you can continue to be successful. Because like you said, you're going to get what you get from God's favor or whatever the case may be. But I don't think this stuff is coming from God's favor. Because it's not moving forward. This shit is fucked up. It's not good. Your ratings are not good for any of your shows. And again, for Love and Marriage Huntsville to be your number one show, you don't mention that show or pray or rave about it to people when you do interviews. Well, that's strange to me. Again, it's given that his contract is up with OWN for Love and Marriage Huntsville, the renegotiation is going to be fucking pennies if they even do it. And I think Mel has gotten greenlit for her own shit. That's why she popping her shit too. Revelations, okay? Get it together. I think I'm done with my notes. Yep. Okay, I'm done with my notes. So now let me share my screen because I want you guys to see this comment. Now, this was from Millimeter was in the comment section. And when I say like she couldn't say things more perfectly, it was brilliant. Okay. So let's see here. So she said, are you suggesting that loving, let me see, make sure I'm sharing it. Okay. She says, are you suggesting that Love and Marriage Huntsville cast isn't being genuine? When a show centers mainly around one couple's issues and only briefly touches on the rest of the cast's lives, this is the result. I agree. They only want to focus on Mel and Martell. Why? Focus on y'all own shit. If you notice, the Scots only focus on other people's shit, never nothing about theirs. Okay? And also, too, that's what I said in that interview that Maurice had with Dustin. I felt like he was like, I want them to get back, you know, cool, or get into a place where they can film together and this and that. Why? So y'all can feed off of them some more? After what he's fucking done to her, why the fuck do you feel like she should be filming with him to benefit y'all motherfuckers after what y'all have done to her? How shitty y'all have treated her? Why should she be okay with that? But again, they want her and Martell to film together so bad because they can ping off of that and bite off of that and not have to talk about shit about themselves. We don't know nothing about them really. And if the implication is that Melody is the one playing things up for the audience or a camera, I argue she's just doing what she has to do to survive on the show, where she's the only one being targeted by ex-husband, the mistress, the cast members, moms, bloggers. A normal person wouldn't have survived such a negative experience. It's unfair to suggest playing up for the camera when it was her story, tears, authenticity that brought viewers to anything Carlos is producing now. Facts. Facts. It was her and Martell's story that brought the audience. Okay? If any future producers see this comment, I hope you use it as a cautionary tale of how not to treat your cast. Bingo. So Sheridan Davis, the person that did the interview, she says, hey, love, thanks for watching. We actually weren't talking anything about any of Carlos's shows when we were talking about people playing it up for the cameras. Then who the fuck were you talking about? You might have not been talking about that, but he damn sure was. Because how would he know people play it up for the cameras? We were talking about all reality shows, which includes his, correct? None of my questions were about Melody. She didn't say they were about Melody. I would have said her name like I said Brandon's. Blessings to you. So the Kia girl comments back. And again, when I tell you this lady is on point, she's on point. She says, thank you for responding. I believe many of Carlos's Carlos King's audience will interpret his answers as a subtle jab at Melody, which we probably would. Especially considering that Melody has been sharing a lot of receipts on TikTok lately. Carlos has made similar comments before, particularly when he began targeting YouTube channels that supported Melody or her fans. Melody, while not taking the same actions against those critical of her. This inconsistency could be perceived as shade toward Melody or her fans. The millimeters, especially since your interview barely covered Love and Marriage Huntsville, you guys spoke favorable toward the other show and deemed Love and Marriage Huntsville the problem child. And I am curious as a viewer, as to why. Right. Since this is your number one fucking show, why would you get your ass on an interview and talk about it like it's a fucking problem? Who does that? Like Melody said, who attacks the star of their show? Is Love and Marriage Huntsville that bad when they've held the number one title for a very long time and still still a hot topic? Also, just because no one is directly named doesn't mean the comments aren't aimed at someone specific. These tactics have been common in the entertainment industry for a long time. There were other inappropriate comments made by Carlos regarding who should be considered a star and the reason why. Yes. And it's strange that he never brings up Melody's name. But he have like a respect for like Nene and Kenya and them because he was working on the production team with them. And those ladies have money. And he don't treat them like he treat or try to treat Melody or Stormy or Tisha and them, or anybody on his shows, because it's his production company, his thing, and he feels like he can just ring hell. Why is this even a focus? I believe that even without explicitly stating it, it will be evident. Aside from that, I want to commend you for an excellent interview. It was. You're truly great at what you do. Your questions and personality were fantastic. I'm excited to hear more on your commentary in the future. She did a good interview. Sheridan commented and said, thank you, love. And no, if you watch the full interview, the person I really couldn't stand was Love and Marriage Detroit Brandis. See, this again, Sheridan, she didn't say anything about you saying the shit. She said Carlos. Melody has definitely said negative things on TikTok, and Carlos was clear that he would not address said things. Not Melody and Cats. Melanie, the only person that has said negative things on TikTok or other social medias? Why he don't want to discuss it? Why he don't want to discuss it? Because it's a conversation he don't want to have. I don't understand. Like, these are the things that we want to hear. Why you don't want to talk about that? Why you don't want to address the issues that she had? And then that's another reason why he was mad at Melody, because she put him on the spot at that podcast and he didn't like it because he don't have a fucking answer for why he let this shit go on. And the answer he got, he don't want to say it. This interview was so positive. That's your opinion. I personally threw a hint of light shade at some of his cast. And it wasn't at Melody. Again, she didn't say, Sheridan, that you were talking about Melody. She said Carlos was. I am not a millimeter at all. She never said you was. It's no need to bring up that you're not, because she never said you were. But I absolutely don't need to use my platform to tear down another Black woman. Sheridan, nothing that you did signifies this. So the need to say it doesn't really matter because she didn't say that you did. You weren't saying anything shady toward any other women. That's whack. Thank you so much for the support, though. I appreciate your kind words. And um and also too, saying that you don't need to use your platform to tear down another black woman, nobody needs to use their platform to tear down another black woman. If you speaking facts about a black woman and that's just what it is and that's your observation, and you can back it up with instances and experiences and things like that, is that tearing them down or is it calling they shit to the carpet? Okay, because if that's the case, you shouldn't use your platform to tear down a black woman or a man. So Kaya replies and says, thank you, beautiful. I wish you great success on your platform and in all your future endeavors. As a proud millimeter, I fully support Melody. She said, motherfucker, I am a millimeter. This is a true millimeter to me. Like, she's articulate, smart. She's like everything. Like, she's not even being accusatory of the young lady that did the interview, because again, the interview was good. Like, her questions were magnificent. I usually stay in the background. I'm glad you popped out. But I watched this interview hoping Carlos will say something to ease the tension. However, in my opinion, he continues to throw rocks and hide his hands. Correct. He often talks about accountability, yet I haven't heard him take any for the show's darker direction, like the revenge plots or involving a non-cast member with known mental issues to attack another cast member's mother. In what world is any of this stuff okay? He don't want to talk about this type of shit. Why? And he couldn't get on my platform and not talk about this. We talking about it. Let's talk about it. What is going on? Like, what's the method to your madness? Can you explain that to me? Because it gotta be a reason. What's going on? Why is this stuff being allowed? Do you think this stuff is okay? Those are the questions that should be asked to Carlos. He has spoken up in defense of the Scott's family and Stormy regarding their encounters with the stream fans, but he has never addressed the ones targeting Melody. Say that shit, Kaya. Say it. Never. Every time it's always somebody doing something to Martell, somebody doing something to the Scotts, somebody doing something to Stormy. Never none of your fucking actual cast members doing shit to Melody. Nothing about the vile ass shit that Wanda showing up say online about Melody, her mother, her kids. Never, none of that shit. But you shouldn't be trying to destroy people's business. What about somebody's reputation that had a good reputation in business? What about that? Because calling her hoes and all that type of shit after Martell lost out on naming that 47 acres Hope Manor because he was being a hoe and not a hoe. But it's fine for them to try to ruin Melody's name because the people said they wanted Melody on that project. So then now she being called all type of hoes. No proof. No proof though. No proof. Even with them knowing that Martell made that shit up about the revenge P, they still talking about Melody was cheating. With not no man in sight that then came forward. Just like they say about Marceau. No woman has came forward, so it's not true. No man has came forward about Melody, so should that not be true as well? It's a double standard, which could explain why he avoids discussing it. Oh, despite the fact that the Millimeter sold out his first live podcast, shows he seems to have a disdain for them. Correct. I find that quite interesting, but that's a discussion for another day. I appreciate the dialogue and wish you all the best. Now, let me return to the bushes. LOL. I like this lady. I like her. I'm glad she popped out of the bushes because people need to hear this. This makes sense. You avoiding talking about it. Why? When we interviewed Melody, say, do you want the questions? Want any questions? She said no. She off the dome. She just gonna answer. She don't need to be prereqed on her shit. That haven't been the same for other people on the cast that, you know, we've asked to interview or whatever the case may be. Winter didn't ask for pre-questions either. So, again, that's something that's authentic. You don't have nothing to hide. Why Carlos don't interview with a Millimeter? Why don't you interview with a Millimeter, Carlos? And let's see, you know, let's get some answers to some of this stuff. So Sheridan says, to her, it's all good. And then the Divine Femme says, Melanie has no right to post fake force made up receipts on another cast member out of her own pain and likely with a motive to negatively impact her extremely successful e-commerce brand. Where did I know that damn name from? Melody has a right to post what the fuck she want to post. Just like whoever posted the shit had a text the shit had a right to text the shit. Now again, you sent the shit to the wrong damn phone, so it is what it is. And post fake force made up receipts. What was made up about them? What was fake about them? Because from my understanding, Jerry Taylor came out and showed the exact same receipts that Mel had, the exact same verbiage, right? Now, what I would say to that is that just because the Jerry girl had them, it don't mean that it couldn't came from Melody showing her phone, or it also could have came from, if it was Stormy, it could have came from her because she would have the exact thread because she was texting the shit. So she would have the exact thread that it was, correct? Yes or no? So she would know what the messages said because she had the phone that the messages were exchanged in. So, and again, Stormy's success on TikTok is not from the Millimeters. So Melody saying anything, and if people thought it was Stormy, it wouldn't have an effect on Stormy's e-commerce on TikTok if that was really real, because her fan base over on TikTok or her customers on TikTok is not Millimeters. So it's no effect. No one does anything to Melody. What show have you been watching? They just did something to her right there by texting her motherfucking son's phone talking shit about her. People keep forgetting that part. They were actually talking shit about his mother. And I'm gonna say again, I pretty much is gonna assume that it was the wrong. They thought it was, they wasn't intending to send it to him. I hope not, but it was sent to him. Melanie has created her own cage that she is currently living in. She's been spreading her pain since season 1 when she and Martell aimed to ruin others' marriages to spite them for participating in discussions about her marriage, which she chose to expose on TV in exchange for fame and success of the show. So she living in her own cage. She's been spreading her pain when her and Martell aim to ruin others' marriages to spite them participating in discussions about their marriage, which she chose to expose. You see what I'm talking about? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if Melody had not exposed it, people would say they were being fake, right? This is a fucking reality TV show. So they supposed to be talking about their fucking reality, which it looks like the Scots refuse to do. You want to talk about the Mel and Martell's reality don't have shit to do with y'all. But since they chose to laugh and giggle at the shit, Martell exposed their asses. Um oh. Mel chose to participate in reality TV at the height of Martell's and her back and forth issues with infidelity. Wouldn't you say that Martell chose to do that shit as well? Because if you know any damn thing, you should know that Melody was choosing not to participate in the fucking show because she found out that he was still fucking cheating. And again, what is the problem with putting your reality on a reality show? She chose this journey and the cast owes her nothing. If she chose this journey, this her journey, why the fuck are they involved? How the fuck is Mel or Martell saying that Marceau cheated, ruining their marriage if Marceau never cheated? Marceau even said, can't nobody ruin our marriage but us. So somebody said to her, how do you know they were fake? And come with the real receipts then. I think everyone that's coming for Melody Cherie is silly. And I agree. Of course, I liked it. And then this Chris SC says to her, to the Jacqueline lady, no one is coming for her. Why can't people talk about what has happened on the show? They can. That's what we talking about it too. And we talking stuff that happened on the outside of the show too. That's what we talking about as well. Let's say the receipts about Stormy were true. So what? So, all right. So what then? Who cares who Stormy's talked to? Apparently Stormy do because she denying the shit. Well, she haven't even denied the shit. She trying to put up a whole nother scenario like it was somebody else. And also, so what, it would show that she's a fake ass bitch. And that she's a scary ass bitch. Because you talking shit to Slaw about somebody, but you can't say that shit to them. You don't say that shit to them. You don't have that energy in their motherfucking face. So shut the fuck up talking about the shit behind her back to somebody. Like a little scary ass bitch. Okay? Why does Mel think Stormy owes her loyalty? Mel never said Stormy owed her loyalty, but I would assume that if Stormy jumped up and I'm replying to his stuff in a minute. And what was Melody's goal in sharing texts and messages and insinuate it was Stormy? To expose motherfuckers? Wasn't they talking shit about her? It is because she wanted Stormy's name to be dragged. And did. And is. That's how it appears to me. And it could be that. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? I seen what you was talking shit about. I seen how you fucking feel about me. If a motherfucker drag your ass, motherfucker, go ahead. I ain't got no band-aids. Okay? Bleed out. Um, that is evil. And for a male to read messages she knew were meant for Ariane, that has to be a sick person. What's sick is a motherfucker that was grinning and skinning in my motherfucking face, finding out they being cool and shit with the fucking side hole that ruined my motherfucking, helped ruin my fucking marriage. And now you still talking to this bitch and acting like you don't know the bitch, or you just had, knew her in passing or some shit like that. When you've been talking to this bitch and you've been talking to this bitch about me. Because that didn't sound like it was their first conversation about it. These so he said to the divine femme lady, these folks acting like then don't know how male moves, or they don't know how male moves. She has been a mean girl since day one. Where are my comments at? I said to him, she's a mean girl, but show proof of Slaw's friend texting Slaw, or thinking she was talking crap about her. She's mean because somebody texted the wrong person talking crap about her. I meant to put her, and she exposed it. Should she be nice or mean to a person that clearly talks negative about her? Would you be so nice if that happened to you? She returned the favor. Right, motherfucker, you talking shit and I'm about to expose your ass and I'm about to talk shit about it. How about that? So Sheridan says to me, there's no proof that it was the cast member. None. Okay. Someone else came out and said it was them. There's no need to attack each other over it, though. Thank you for watching. Not Brownie in the chat. I said to Sheridan, I never said it was a cast member, but there is evidence, proof of who is more than likely is. And I know a person came out and said it was them, but that don't make no sense. So I'm gonna be a critical thinker and go off the evidence, proof. And I know there is surely no need to attack anyone. I hope no one is doing that in your comment section, because where the fuck did you get an attack from, Sheridan? Um And let me get to this part right here 1 second, because the Kaya lady replies to them. This person says she ain't on nobody's mind, not even Martell's. People are happy. She's miserable. I said to her as, Angela, if they were so happy, why are they constantly bullying and plotting on her? If she's not on Martell's mind, why is he still trying to get her back? Why has he been convicted of harassing her, but he ain't on her mind? Do you know the obsession that it takes to harass somebody? Think about it. Why is her name in the mouth and text messages of just about everybody on that cast? It's really given she's always on their mind. You're always on my mind. Ain't that SWV, child? Period. Um, Let me see if I can read another one too. Right here, she says to Divine Femme, I'm curious, if Melody and Martell hadn't openly discussed their reality on the show, where do you think the show would stand today? Woohoo! Oh, shit! If Martell hadn't accused Marceau of having 20 women, sparking arguments between Letitia and Melody over infidelities in their marriages, where would the show be? And if Melody and Martell had left the show after season 2, what direction do you think the show would have taken? I would argue that the cast owes a lot to Melody and Martell for sharing their real life experiences, and extend a huge thank you to Melody for advocating for this show for 3 years before it was picked up, and for personally funding a consultation that ultimately led to the creation of Love and Marriage Huntsville franchise, Bell Collective, Nightcap with the King, and more. We can't say a lot about Melody because she has shared the most. Regarding the receipts, it was easy for anyone to assume they involved Stormy, and the final verdict on the final verdict on that is still undecided. As for Melody, she has consistently positioned herself as a champion within the community by sharing her knowledge and resources generously. Something that is unfortunately rare in our community. That makes it hard for me to believe that a woman who has created job opportunities for her cast, support the homeless in her community, honors mothers and grandmothers, hosts events for her fans, and provides effective home property preservation training without exploiting her customers would intentionally try to damage another woman's business. Some of you seem consumed by envy when it comes to this woman, and I can't help but wonder why. I believe every cast member has their flaws, but when all the criticism is aimed at one person who played a key role in making this show a success, it leads me to think that jealousy might be at play. Ooh. What exactly has Melody done to warrant such hate? You ain't gonna get that answer. Last I remember, I'm a millimeter. Melody has been my favorite since season 1. However, I do like a few others from the show too. As a Black woman, I want to see our community to do is strive and have more success stories. I wish the focus of the show would shift to a more positive direction, but mess sells, honey. So I doubt we will see a real change anytime soon. However, it would be refreshing to see the cast genuinely celebrate each other's success more. Anyway, this is my perspective. Thank you for sharing. So she said that to Divine. She said to Chris, to quickly answer your question, let's say the receipts about Stormy are true. So what? What does it matter who Stormy talks to? In my opinion, people might care if Stormy is speaking with the woman who interfered with the host's marriage because of how Stormy was introduced to the show's fans. Ooh. The fact that Stormy knew Martell and his mistress, yet still used Melanie as a stepping stone to get on the show, comes across as distasteful and lacking in character. It would suggest that Stormy may have had bad intentions from the start, which would be evil. Tell him, Kaya. I cannot imagine not being able to trust the people around you because of all the shady things they've done just to be on the TV show. The verdict is still out on the phone messages. However, what I will share is that I visited Huntsville a few times for work, and whenever I talk to locals about the show, they consistently mention that Melody is the most authentic person on it. And these are people I have random conversations with at the grocery store, airport, etc. So Melody does have a positive reputation in her community. I don't believe she would jeopardize that just to be petty towards someone she helped gain them exposure beyond their own brand. Period. Lastly, Martell should have never given Tank's phone to Ariane. Any responsible mother would check their young child's phone to ensure the conversations are appropriate. I'm sure Melody would never expect a message intended for Ariane to be sent to her son, especially one that involved her. Get this lady. Get it. Where the flowers at? Doesn't that sound ridiculous? After years of enduring vile comments from Wanda and others, Melody is simply trying to clear up the false rumors and calling out people for their questionable behavior, including Stormy. I am sure we will agree to disagree, but this is my opinion on that matter. I hope this answers your questions, sucker. Yeah. Um, and that's when the Angela lady said that she wasn't on nobody's mind. Again, agreeing to disagree. And Sheridan also said that this interview was done before Melody did the TikTok when she exposed the phone messages, like the day before or something like that. So if Carlos said anything in this interview, it wasn't regarding like the phone message stuff because it was done before that. This is part where I think she said it at. So Chris says to Kaya, so do you think Mel has done nothing wrong? Again, she didn't say Melody hasn't done anything wrong. She said everybody on the cast have their flaws. She literally said that. You don't think when she first started, she was the one throwing jabs since season 1, episode 1? Remember, she was shading Kimmy's age and making fun of Tisha for being a housewife? Remember how she constantly keeps talking about those cheating rumors about Marceau? Wasn't they talking about the cheating shit with her husband and her marriage? What was it to her? They were talking about each other infidelities. Why did she care so much? She didn't say she cared so much. She talking about it. Why did the Scots care so much to talk about they shit? Since season 1. To the point where she brought Kiki and put a bug in Kiki's ear to make her go against her own cousin. At least that's how it appeared on the show. That's not how it appeared on the show. That's how it appeared to you. Because Kiki knew what she knew and the Scots knew what Kiki knew. If it wasn't true, why were they so bothered by Kiki? And all Kiki said was, it had been times that Tisha had to question her marriage. She never said Marceau cheated or nothing. Per the reunion that Kiki was on with them, did Tisha not admit that she found a fucking ass picture in Marceau's phone? So with that being said, that tells you right there that it was what she said was true. That it was times that she questioned her marriage. Because if she didn't question her marriage, she would not have been in his phone looking through his phone, period. Correct? So what Kiki vindicated with that? Correct. And he says, I'm not saying Mel is the worst person that has ever touched this earth, but hold her accountable for the stuff she has done. All these folks have done their part. She ain't perfect. Miss Wanda comes for her because Miss Wanda be reacting to the stuff Mel be doing to Tisha. Do we see Mama Van reacting to all the shit all these motherfuckers do to her? And what has Melanie done to Atisha again? These, again, vague ass statements. Nothing with specifics. So he said, and the home gate thing, Mel put that out so that CC's could come after Stormy. What home gate? Oh, maybe he meant phone gate. Why else would she do it? That's plain evil. But the messages that was sent to her son's phone, not evil. Nobody they want to skip over that. And isn't this Mel reacting to something that was sent to her son's phone? So if Wanda gets an excuse, then so should she. If we put it in your perspective. She's been a mean girl since day one. I'm talking about the character she plays on the show and in social media. She may be a total different person in real life. First of all, they're not playing characters. They're on reality TV, so it's not their character. This is not a scripted show, allegedly. This says reality show. So we're assuming that these are how they are actually are, because we see these people on the show and off the show, and it's given the same fucking thing. I said to Chris, I said, she's a mean girl, but showed proof of Slaw's friend texting Slaw or thinking she was, talking crap about her. She's mean because she texted the wrong. I did I read this already? I did read this already. She returned the favor. So I said that. I said this. And then I said to him, what has Mel done to Tisha for wanting to come after her the way she do? When was she teasing Kimmy about her age, or teasing Tisha about being a housewife? Do you mean having a discussion? Because I remember her having a discussion with Tisha about, getting out the house, doing her thing, whatever. And I think she might have threw some shade, like, shit, she need to get out that house. But I don't really think that was shade. I think that was just her trying to help her. And I'll go back to my original theory with this, and y'all let me know what y'all think about it. I originally thought that when Mel found out that Martell was cheating, I believe that he told her about Marcel too. And that's, I guess, when she found out about Alonda, the hairstylist. And I felt like she wanted to encourage Tisha to get her paper up. Because if these mofos is out here wilding like this, you don't want to be stuck in those shit that, he leave you, because now he pumping for you to act like you a housewife when you was working before the show came on. But since he want to keep you in the house, like Marceau and, Martell has said, when he was saying that she got her body done and all that, and he need to put her back in the house. I felt like she wanted to get Tisha to be independent and make money on her own, or just realize her worth in this situation. If my name gonna be on this business, I'm gonna know everything about this motherfucking business. I'm gonna help you run it. Even if I don't be actively involved in all this and physically there, I'm gonna know how things operate. In case something happen to you, I can pick up the pieces and run this shit on my own. Much like how her and Martell was. But Martell was the Tisha in a situation, because if Melanie would have quit, he wouldn't have known what the fuck to do. Right? So I felt like she was trying to help Tisha stabilize herself and be independent on her own, just in case she had to leave Marceau or she had to do this shit on her own. She would be good, like she secured for herself. Okay? I don't think it was to try to ruin Tisha's marriage or nothing like that. Of course, she wouldn't want Tisha, since she's considered Tisha a friend at that time, she wouldn't want Tisha to be in a relationship where the husband was cheating on her and she didn't know about it or didn't, want that to be happening. But it's clear to us now that that's something that Tisha may either condone or is fine with, or whatever the case may be, or choose to ignore, or, in the 0.5% chance that it never happened, she can do that as well now. And again, that's not trying to ruin nobody's marriage. Okay. I said, because they all have teased Mel about Martell cheating on her as if that's her fault, and how it is evil for her to expose a person that was, and how is it evil for her to expose a person that was talking shit about her, and sent it to her son's phone, but not evil that the person was even doing it. And all in all fairness, the person has a right to talk whatever mess she wants to Slaw, but make sure you texting the right number, because when you make errors like that, nobody can tell the person on the receiving end how to respond to it, period. And I also said to him, what was the purpose for Mel to expose those text messages Question mark. The only conclusion that I can come up with is that Mel's goal was for Stormy's name to get dragged. And this is what he's saying to me. What was the purpose of Mel to expose those text messages? The only conclusion that I can come up with is for Mel's goal was for Stormy's name to get dragged, and that's exactly what happened. Was that her intentions? Sure does seem like it to me, and that's evil and envious. It's not evil for someone to have a comment about the show. Weren't we all like, dang, Destiny went in? No, we all were not, because she didn't go into shit but a fucking snooze fest. She went into some bullshit and her shit had been debunked. Okay? He said, and you're right, no one can tell the person receiving the message how to respond. The response is how we know is the person is triggered, and their action afterwards says a lot about them. And when did the ladies tease Mel about cheating, Martell cheating? I must have missed that episode. What season? What episode? So if what her response was says a lot about her, then since you said that Show Enough be responding to Melody and how she do the stuff she do to Tisha, that vile ass shit, that says a lot about her, correct? Okay, so I said to him, let me put this one in here first. I think this was first. What was the purpose of the person talking crap about her? Let's answer that question. I think she exposed it because people like you that keep saying that she's the problem, but she's minding her and her kids' business, and it's clear that folks have ill feelings about her but won't say it to her. Stormy got dragged because the evidence pointed toward her. In order to be envious of someone, they have to have something that you want but can't get. Stormy has nothing that Mel want and can't get. Is it evil for a person to DM you to start a conversation with you about business and getting on the show, and you make it happen, and then you learn that they are not only knew the side chick that helped destroy your marriage, but rather they were friends and still are? Is that evil? And I also said to him in his response to which episode he missed, season 1, episode 11, when Tisha said, "Good luck with your husband and his 3-year relationship." The Valentine episode when Tisha said, "Martell cheated on you and you still had a baby with him." Her mother saying all the vile mess she says about Martell cheating, again, as if that's Melody's fault. You missed a lot of episodes. Again, how sweet would you be to a person that texts your son's phone by mistake talking shit about you? How holy would would your response be? So that's where I'm gonna leave it there for a minute. I'm gonna read through and keep commenting for the rest of the night if I got to. Say no, I ain't gonna do that. But I'll probably just leave it at that. But y'all go check out her interview. It was a good interview. Like I said, she asked some really good questions and things like that. So it's interesting, but I also would encourage y'all to get up into that thread, and it's going to push her interview through the algorithm too. So go and give her a view and see for yourselves and see what y'all think about what Carlos had to say. I'll see you guys tonight on Gossip Girls, and until next time, y'all like this video and subscribe to the channel. Bye. Oh my gosh. Ew.
Hold on, 20.
Huh?
Hold on, 20. Hold on.
What'd you say?
I said, hold on, 20. Hold on, please.